You didn't cry because the movie was sad. You cried because your childhood just learned something it wasn't ready for. Back then, we didn't call it trauma. We just said, it's only a movie. But somehow, years later, those scenes still replay in our minds. Not the monsters, not the villains, but the silence, the goodbyes, the moments where someone didn't come back. These were supposed to be kids' movies. Colorful, animated, safe, movies we trusted. Instead, they taught us loss before we understood death, loneliness before we had words for it, fear that didn't scream. It just stayed. Those movies didn't break us loudly. They broke us quietly. And without realizing it, they shaped how we learned to feel. Today, we're going back to those childhood movies that traumatized us and made us who we are. Number 1, The Lion King. We thought it was just a cartoon, a brave lion cub, a colorful kingdom, a story about becoming king. But then, everything went quiet. No dramatic warning, no soft landing, just a child nudging his father's body.
Dad, we gotta go home.
Confused, scared, whispering for him to wake up. As kids, we didn't understand what death really meant. We didn't know the word grief, but our chest felt heavy anyway. That scene was the first time many of us learned a terrifying truth. Sometimes, the people you love don't come back, and no one explains why. Simba didn't cry loudly. He didn't scream. He just stood there alone. And without realizing it, so were we. That wasn't just a sad moment in a movie. It was our first encounter with loss, wrapped in animation, delivered too early, and remembered forever. Number 2, Titanic. As kids, we thought Titanic was a love story. A big ship, a beautiful couple, a dramatic ending. We said we cried because Jack died. That's the simple answer. But that's not the real reason it hurt. What actually broke us was the goodbye. Jack letting go, slowly, quietly. Not fighting, not begging. Just accepting that his time was over so someone else could live. As children, we didn't understand sacrifice. We didn't understand that love sometimes means leaving. We didn't understand that some people come into your life, only to save you, and then disappear forever. That door scene stayed with us because it was unfair. There was no miracle, no last-second rescue, no happy ending to protect us. It taught us something painful far too early. Love doesn't guarantee permanence. Being good doesn't guarantee survival. And some goodbyes happen while the other person is still right in front of you. We didn't have the words for that feeling back then, so we cried. And years later, every time we watch it again, it doesn't hurt because we remember Jack. It hurts because we now understand how many people in our own lives we had to let go of without ever being ready. Number 3, My Girl. This movie didn't scare us. It confused us because nothing felt wrong at first. It felt warm, familiar, safe. 2 kids, summer days, laughter, friendship, and then, suddenly, everything stopped making sense. As children, we didn't understand death. We thought it was something that happened to old people, something distant, something that could be fixed. So when Thomas J. didn't come back, our brains rejected it. Why isn't he waking up? Why is everyone crying? Why is she screaming? And then came that moment, standing at the funeral, when she says he can't see without his glasses.
I want to go tree climbing, Thomas J. His face hurts. And where is his glasses? He can't see without his glasses.
That line didn't just break the room. It broke us. Because for the first time, we realized something terrifying. Kids could die too. Friendship didn't protect you. Innocence didn't protect you. There was no villain to hate. No one to blame. Just a quiet truth. Life could take someone away without asking permission. As kids, we didn't know how to process that. So we carried it quietly. And that's why My Girl stayed with us. Not because it was tragic, but because it was honest. It taught us, far too early, that childhood doesn't promise safety, and love doesn't promise time. Number 4, Bridge to Terabithia. This movie betrayed our trust, because it promised something else. Adventure, magic, a secret world where 2 kids could escape reality together. As children, we believed that promise. Terabithia felt safe. It felt like imagination could protect you from real life. Like friendship was enough to save you. And then, without warning, it took everything away. No slow build-up. No emotional preparation. Just an ordinary day that ended differently than expected. As kids, our first reaction wasn't even sadness. It was confusion. Wait, that's it? She's not coming back? That wasn't supposed to happen. Because in our minds, fantasy meant protection. Heroes survive. friends return. But this movie taught us a brutal truth far too early. Bridge to Terabithia didn't just make us cry. It taught us that childhood isn't immune to loss, and that some people enter our lives only to teach us how to say goodbye. And once you learn that lesson, you never really unlearn it. Number 5. Bambi. This movie didn't traumatize us with a scene. It traumatized us with absence. There was no dramatic music, no final goodbye, no moment where we were told to prepare. Just a soft voice saying, "Your mother can't be with you anymore." As kids, we didn't fully understand what that sentence meant. We just felt the emptiness that followed it. The forest kept moving. Life continued. But something important was missing, and no one stopped to explain it. That's what made it hurt. Bambi didn't scream. He didn't cry loudly. He just stood there, small and confused, expected to keep going without the one thing that made him feel safe. And without realizing it, we learned a frightening lesson. The world doesn't pause for grief. Nature doesn't ask if you're ready. Loss doesn't come with closure. Sometimes, people are just gone. For a child, that kind of quiet loss is terrifying. Number 6. The Fox and the Hound. This movie didn't traumatize us all at once. It did it slowly. At first, it felt gentle. A fox, a hound, two unlikely friends who didn't care about rules or labels. As kids, we believed that was enough. If two people cared about each other, nothing else should matter. But the movie knew better. As Todd and Copper grew older, the world started interfering. Adults stepped in. Expectations changed. Lines were drawn. Not because the friendship ended, but because it wasn't allowed anymore. That realization hurt in a way we couldn't explain as children. Number 7. The Never-Ending Story. This movie looked magical. Flying dragons. A fantasy world. A story that promised escape. As kids, we trusted it. But then came that scene. Artax. Slowly sinking. Not fighting. Not screaming. Just giving up. As children, we didn't understand why this moment felt so disturbing. We kept asking the same question. Why isn't he trying harder? Why won't he move? What we were actually witnessing, without knowing it, was despair. This was one of the first times many of us saw what hopelessness looks like. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet surrender. The movie didn't explain it. It didn't soften it. It just showed us that sometimes someone can want to live and still lose the strength to keep going. For a child, that idea is terrifying because we grow up believing that effort guarantees survival, that wanting something badly enough makes it happen. But the never-ending story shattered that illusion. It taught us, far too early, that sadness can be heavy enough to pull you under, that encouragement doesn't always work, that love can be present and still not be enough. We didn't have the word depression back then, so we carried the image instead. And even now, years later, many people still skip that scene, not because it's sad, but because it reminds us of a truth we learned too young. Sometimes, the fight ends quietly. Number 8. Hachi, A Dog's Tale. This movie didn't shock us. It wore us down, because nothing bad happens at first. Life feels normal. Routine feels safe. A dog waits at the station. Every day, the same time, the same place. As kids, we thought it was sweet, loyal, almost comforting. And then the routine breaks. But Hachi doesn't know that. He keeps waiting. That's what destroyed us. Not the death itself, but the waiting that followed. As children, we didn't understand permanence. We didn't understand that gone could mean forever. So watching Hachi sit there, day after day, felt wrong in a way we couldn't explain. Why isn't anyone telling him? Why doesn't he stop? Because that's the point. This movie taught us something unbearably heavy. Love doesn't disappear just because someone does. Sometimes, love keeps showing up, even when there's no one left to meet it. That idea is too big for a child. Too cruel. Too real. We didn't cry just because it was sad. We cried because we realized loyalty can turn into loneliness. That hope can hurt. That waiting doesn't always lead to reunion. And the worst part? Hachi never doubts. He never gives up. He never moves on. He just waits. For many of us, this was the first time we learned that devotion doesn't guarantee happiness, and that love can exist, even when it has nowhere to go. That lesson stays with you, because once you understand it, you start seeing Hachi everywhere, in people who keep waiting, in relationships that never come back, and sometimes, in yourself. We didn't walk away from these movies scared. We walked away changed. As kids, we didn't understand what they were teaching us. We just felt something heavy settle inside us. Loss, loneliness, goodbyes that didn't feel fair. Love that didn't last long enough. These movies didn't traumatize us because they were cruel. They traumatized us because they were honest. And honesty hits harder when you're too young to protect yourself from it. But maybe that's why they stayed with us. Maybe they prepared us, not for a perfect life, but for a real one. They taught us empathy before logic, grief before vocabulary, and emotions before explanations. We weren't weak for crying. We were learning how to feel. And even now, years later, those scenes still hurt. So if one of these movies broke you as a child, you're not strange. You're human. Which movie stayed with you the longest? The one you still can't forget? Tell me in the comments. Someone else is carrying it too.